Well, here you go. I got one for you. I got a few videos. I performed this experiment probably about 70 plus times using different configurations. I use both structured water and distilled water. And I'd like to show you a couple little movie clips that I've made, and also too some fascinating images. As I've actually told you throughout countless, maybe hundreds of videos, the actual phase disparity that sits around a magnet exists at a ratio of 1 to 5, which oddly enough is a perfect proportionality of like a chicken egg. If you actually cut an egg in half, the fat bottom portion will be a volume of roughly 5, and the top pointy end is a value of 1. This is also, too, the reason why seed experimentation with magnetic exposure yields radically different results. I'd like to have you take a look at this one. I've actually got this printed out professionally and hanging in a couple places in my house. You keep getting the exact same results, and I'll show you a movie here really quick. You can actually see this egg shape in the frozen structured water of the distilled water. What I actually have suspended here is a cylinder magnet. It's incredibly powerful in 55 Gauss neodymium iron boron. And here you see the egg shape that exists around it. Now the water inside this egg resists freezing for up to 4+ times as long as the water around it. And you're thinking, well, that's just because at the center, it's cold at the outside, and it takes a while for the water to penetrate. Well, it's not the case. I've done this experiment many, many times. You'll actually notice it looks like a egg that's actually lifting off of the Earth like a spaceship. It actually looks exactly, it's kind of beautiful. Looks like it's lifting off. It actually has this structure right at the bottom of the North Pole. And of course I've flipped the magnet, countless different ways, sideways, north up, north down. So, don't ask me to do tests by flipping the magnet. I've already done that. Anyhow, you actually see these ethereal banding. Here you can actually see it a little bit better on this image, and I'll show you a video here just in a second. You see this ethereal banding that actually goes right around the plane of inertia. It almost looks like what you would see in a fictional ghost movie where the ghosts have these ethereal, they're almost like white silk flapping in the wind, the banding around the plane of inertia. And if you actually look at these with the loop, it's really hard to describe. It's actually a fascinating structure that manifests that way. And it's always that way around the plane of inertia. And let me show you this and turn the image around a little bit. Sorry, that image is a little sideways. I should have turned. Also, too, you can actually see the imprint of the egg as it's shrinking. If you will, you can see the bands here. And also, too, this lift-off looking structure at the base of the egg. And here you can really see an enormous amount of this, I call it ethereal banding, but it's the plane of inertia, the magnet. The magnet is right here between these two black bars on the banding. Let's go over, sorry this video is sideways, so you're going to have to interpret this, I should have turned this video around. I was excited to get this one out. Here you can see the ethereal banding on the side. Like I said, this video is sideways, but I think you get the gist. You can actually see the egg where it's actually shrinking. I said the center portion around the magnet resists freezing. There's actually a kind of a fundamentally simplex, and water, of course, is a polar molecule. There's a fundamentally simple explanation for this. Once again, like I said, it's distilled water, and it is also structured water. This one is a cube magnet. It's actually a 1" by 1" cube on this one, I recall, because I've used cubes and cylinders, cylinder magnets. Let's take a look at this one. There we go. And see here. Here you can actually see the magnet bobbing around. So that you can tell immediately that the water in the central portion of the egg is not frozen at all. And the ethereal banding around the plane of inertia kind of wraps around it in an undulating pattern. It's throughout the structure, but primarily around the plane of inertia of the magnet. Okay. So yeah, I wanted to show you that, and I'll actually sometime this week make a video about something that no one's ever said before. The countless thousands of people have said that water has memory, but that doesn't explain anything. I'll actually explain what it means to say that water has memory, because while it is accurate, these countless thousands of people quite literally have said, well, water has memory. Well, let's get a little bit more technical. Metaphysics is not contrary to physics. Physics and metaphysics are both flip sides of the exact same coinage. Here I actually have a light behind the magnetic egg. I call it a magnetic egg. It's because it's basically a simplex explanation. This one actually takes some explaining. Here we actually have a special kind of magnet, and we actually have a hyperboloid shape. Except you can tell one pole is radically different than the other, because down here we actually have a bubble barbell at the bottom of the magnet. Here you can see the magnet. And the magnet's field has been changed such that the magnetism is radically affecting the water in a completely contrary fashion to a normal magnet. And here you can actually see this, the top of this side of the magnet, which is the south pole, has this enormous bubbling. It actually, even though this image is very simple and beautiful, it actually takes a long time to explain what's going on here. But here you can see this perfect glassy bubble or barbell, and up here you see this violent volcano-looking structure on the top. And magnet is hyperreactive to powerful magnetic fields. It's also reactive to electrostatics especially, but also to being structured. And structured water, of course, has very, very interesting properties, including much better permeability and osmotic reception into the human body, which is why structured water actually is better for you. It seeps into your cells, and I'd actually discuss this in another video. I'd like to be technical on this without touching upon it, too briefly. But I hope you like this video. It's to me, it's beautiful. That's why I actually have a printout of this, because this simplex picture, for example, it would take a long time to explain, and yet it's so fundamentally beautiful. We actually have the egg shape of the golden ratio around the magnet. We have the structured distilled water. And we actually have, it looks like a rocket ship, it's blasting off the surface. But there's an explanation for that. And we have this ethereal wispy banding around the plane of inertia. And also, too, very fascinating. If I did not have this magnet in here and I just put the exact same vessel with the exact same distilled structured water in it, it would freeze not too long after, the outside had frozen. I mean, it literally takes 3 to 4 times as long to actually freeze the center section around the magnetic field. And that actually the implications of that are fascinating. There'll be future patents based upon the fact that you can keep water. Well, you could do that by adding salt. But what if, by simply using a powerful magnetic field from a permanent magnet, you could keep water from freezing and crystallizing far, far longer? The implications of that for patents and inventions are actually far-reaching. Far-reaching. Far, far-reaching. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked this video. And I'll return tomorrow and explain this. Tomorrow or day after tomorrow. Okay? Thank you.